I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I'm speaking with Chief Hacha Kusso. She is the author of A Silent Cry. It is a poignant exploration of the devastating impact of abuse and betrayal on a young woman named Claire. With profound empathy and insight, her narrative unveils the painful journey of trust shattered and the resilient pursuit of healing and self-discovery. We're delighted to have this talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the folks at City of Books for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Chief, thanks so much for being our guest today on Spotlight.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
The title is very, very gripping, A Silent Cry. Tell us why you named the book that.
I really didn't have to put much thought in that, because this young lady, Claire, was in pain, silent pain, and no one there to hear her. She wasn't allowed to cry out loud. So it seemed Silent Cry would be a good topic for this book because of her situation and what she's gone through.
Exactly. Her tears and her cries fell on deaf ears because of the devastation that befalls her. Why did you decide to write a book about this woman, Claire, and her difficult journey?
Well, I counseled her for 3 years before this book was written. Mm-hmm. And she asked me, and we only did it by phone because she lived in New York and I was here in Carolina. And she asked me to write a book about her story. She said, I want the world to know, because it was so quiet, so long. Her story was untold. And she asked me to write this book for her. And after what she's gone through, I felt like I had a responsibility to tell her story so that the world could know what she's gone through in her life.
Absolutely. Let's give the folks at home the big picture. Let's tell them a little bit of what the book is about.
Well, the book is about this young lady who started out 5 years old, being sexually abused, physically, emotionally, she was abused, and she was treated unhuman. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I cried so many tears listening to her tell me what happened to her over the phone. Mm-hmm. Some of the things that she told me, I was so embarrassed even listening to her. And she had to let it all out. The book was written as a tool that would help people like her who's gone through this situation that she's gone through. Her mother was her biggest enemy, I think, because her mom was, she knew what was going on. She allowed it. She sold her daughter for drugs, money. And she was around 8 years old when that happened. It's just a heart-dripping, horrific story that she tells. Yeah. But in the end, she came out with hope. Mm. She felt that she could live now. She had a need to be able to come out of this oppression, this depression that she's been in for so long. And she ended up doing well at the end of her story. Although this is not the end,
right?
I plan on doing a number 2,
yeah,
to the other half. But right now, she's a very happy person who came out victoriously.
Yes. It's amazing how some people can overcome insurmountable odds, but they do, and sometimes there's stronger people for it. How did you happen to get in touch with Claire, or how did Claire happen to get in touch with you?
Well, Claire is a relative,
Okay.
and I didn't know very much about Claire. She grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, while she was growing up, I was in New York. But I noticed every event that we have, family reunions, funerals, graduations, she was never present with her family. And I would ask why? Why isn't Claire here? Oh, she had something better to do. She wanted to be with her friends. There was always an excuse.
Yeah.
And why she wasn't there, why no one see her, why none of the family get to know her.
Right.
They kept her in hiding. And at that time, I knew something was strange, but I had no idea the depth of it. I
Awesome.
had no idea what she was going through. And it just was so painful listening to her for 3 years, telling her story to me over the phone. 3 o'clock in the morning, she would call sometime. And I felt that it was my duty to listen. Sometime 1 o'clock in the morning. Most of her stories was told at night.
Mm.
And so I started writing it down. When she asked me to write a story, to tell her story to the world, I started writing notes so that I could gather up this. So it was just so much in her life going on. There's no way I could put it all in this book. It's just so much that I felt so embarrassed that this happened to her.
It's an unbelievable story. It's an unbelievable journey, but it's helpful that it's out there because there are so many people in this country, in this world, who are going through similar things, unfortunately. And having this shared experience is somehow empowering to them because they know they're not alone, don't you think?
Yes, definitely. Um, it has helped other people, I'm told, to overcome their depression. It helped people who wasn't even abused in that way, but in other ways, it helped them also to overcome their situation that is horribly hard to forget. But yes.
How did faith help in turning Claire's life around and helping her rebuild after such a difficult and challenging start?
Well, like she said, she had no friends, she had no one but God.
Mm.
She believed in God. She believed that he was there. She said that he comforted her and he kept her from losing her mind because there were points in her life where she felt like she was losing it. And she would talk to God and he would comfort her while she was hiding somewhere in the closet, under the bed, wherever she was. She said God was with her and he helped her through this tremendous ordeal.
Amazing, amazing. Faith is very, very important in life, particularly important during trying times. What was it like writing this book? Because in some ways, you're reliving it again. I mean, you had to recall all of those painful discussions you had with her.
Oh, it was horrible writing that book. It was painful, very painful. But I think me listening to her tell her story and having that sort of pain, I think that helped her because I shared her pain. And I'm a relative. I love her. And I think that's helped also for her to overcome it, to hear someone that love her hear her story and in pain along with her. And I think this is what helped her.
Absolutely. Well, thank goodness, thank God you were there for her. Thank goodness, thank God there was a relative she could turn to in her time of need. She was betrayed by some family members, but you were there to give your heart, give your ear, give your head, and help her through unbelievable times. The name of the book is A Silent Cry. It is written by Chief Hacha Kusso. It is an amazing story of a young woman who goes through an awful odyssey. Her name is Clair, but this book is handled with profound empathy and insight into people who live lives that are marred by abuse, such as this. And Claire's story is a story of triumph in the end.
Yeah, it is.
Thank
And
you
I
so
also,
much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'd like to say to the readers who read this book, those that have no comparison to Claire's life, who's not gone through anything like that, one thing they should take away is appreciate their life, appreciate their family, appreciate the love that they may have taken for granted. And those who are scarred by some of the things that I wrote in this book, some of the things that Claire went through, there are others who have gone through similar situations. And I want to say to them, to take from this book, from Claire, pain, the agony, humiliation, all of the things that Claire went through, take it all and bind it all up in one bundle mentally. Bind up this situation that you have gone through and throw it into the fire mentally. And then you're defeated. She's defeated. This evil is defeated. And knowing that this evil is defeated, it's an energy, it's power. Then you gain from that situation power, success. You know, your life change, a renewal life, and build on it.
Exactly.
Build on it to wherever you are in your life at that time.
Exactly. Acknowledge the pain, learn from it, build upon it, then take it and put it aside. Like you said, put it in fire. Absolutely. The name of the book, once again, is A Silent Cry. It is written by Chief Hacha Kusso. It is an amazing read. You will never forget the story of Claire and the love that she got from her aunt. Chief, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time. This time until next time on Spotlight.